the New Democratic Party.
My question is for the Premier. Sometime in the period between the Boat Harbour Act and when Northern Pulp brought forward its proposal some 5 weeks ago, it must have begun to become apparent to the government. Certainly it was pointed out by us in the opposition. It must have become apparent that the company was running out of time in order to bring forward a proposal that would allow for both a fulsome environmental assessment and for the honouring of the Boat Harbour deadline. And yet the government, through that time, did nothing to ensure that a proposal was being brought forward. Can the Premier explain or account for the government's failure to ensure that a Northern Pulp proposal was brought forward in time to save the thousands of families and the many, many communities who are under a great cloud of uncertainty today?
The Honourable Premier.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to assure the honourable member I appreciate the support of all members of this House, Mr. Speaker, with the Boat Harbour Act. Mr. Speaker, some are looking to renege on that. Mr. Speaker, we think it's an important piece of legislation that allows us to continue to deal with the challenges that are associated with Boat Harbour and the fact that Pictou Landing has been dealing with this issue for decades. We are the first government to put a timeline in cleaning it up. We also believe, Mr. Speaker, that mill can coexist. But I want to remind the honourable member it is a private entity. It is up to that company to determine what decisions it makes, whether or not it's going to actually do the treatment center. I can't force them to do it, Mr. Speaker. It's up to them to make that decision. I think, fortunately for all of us, they've made that decision. Now it'll go through an environmental review, Mr. Speaker, to see if it actually can be cited where they are looking to be done, whether or not it would actually pass that environmental assessment.
The Honourable Leader of the New Democratic Party.
Mr. Speaker, it seems to me fair to say that there is an element missing in the Premier's response here, and that is the element of the capital R responsibility of the government in such an important matter. Thousands of people in woods-related work today at work are talking about nothing else other than this issue because they're living under a cloud of uncertainty, which is the result of the government's having failed to exercise its responsibility to make sure that a proposal was brought forward by Northern Pulp on time. So I would like, in light of this, to ask the Premier to offer an apology to all those thousands of people who are living under that cloud of uncertainty in woods-related business for the government's mishandling of the whole situation at Northern Pulp.
The Honourable Premier.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the honourable member for the question. Mr. Speaker, we're continuing to look forward to have this go through the process. The honourable member has referred to there is now an EA before the government. It will go through its normal process, Mr. Speaker, to determine whether or not that will pass, whether or not that can be cited. Mr. Speaker, if that happens, we'll continue to move forward. If it doesn't, Mr. Speaker, we're looking at how do we best address the challenges as referred to. I think it's important to note, I think I heard the honourable member suggest that the mill should close. I don't want to misquote him. But the fact of the matter is, Mr. Speaker, we believe these can coexist, and we're looking forward to seeing what can happen.